Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Con here. We are back with your daily episode of the Rumour Mill. How are you all doing? All good? Ethan says, "Who is this guy?" It is me, Connor. I know you don't mean that, mate. I know you're referring to the player on the screen, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit. But thank you for all joining. Mitchell Bond is in the building. Evening, lads and ladies, down under service crew. Good evening, Connor. How you, Leeds fan? Morning, Connor. Hope all is good. Finally caught alive, Ben. Good lad. Love that. Morning, says Rog. How you, mate? Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Listen, you know the old spiel, everybody. Please make sure you're liking the video. Please make sure you're subscribing, as always. And yeah, leave your comments in the section below. I do read them post-video, and I'm trying to respond to as many as I can. I always go on about this, but the Patreon, we are bolstering the content on there. I've got a little bit of a schedule that I'm going to be putting on there very, very soon. So make sure you're heading on over there. We will have a Generation Leeds podcast out today, which I'm going to be trying to get as well on Spotify, Apple, and all that good stuff, which will be exclusive to Patreon members. So for £4 a month, it really helps the proceeds of the channel. But guys, you're here for the Room Mill. You're here to, to discuss Leeds United, to have a little bit of talking points on Leeds United. What's going on? What can I tell you what's going on? Well, what I can tell you is going on at this moment in time is we are pumping out good content. That you should check out from yesterday as well. The debrief was a spicy episode last night. An hour and a half of pure fantasticness. And also, we've got the timestamps in the comment section if you just want to skip to a certain episode. I would implore you to watch the whole episode. I think it was really good, but I've put those in for you guys anyway. Morning, Connor. Hey, Tom. Great to catch you live as well, Dave. Wow, says Mark. Caught one from the start. Morning from Wisconsin. Debrief was excellent. Hi, Eduardo. Buzzing that you've enjoyed this as well. Finally made a live. Sam, hey, mate. Morning, Connor. Hey, Tom. So, yeah, as I said, guys, make sure you're liking the video. So, we'll start on the big news this morning. An interesting staple, an interesting snippet from the news network today. Sam Greenwood is apparently on West Ham's radar. Yeah, the on loan Middlesbrough player, on loan Leeds United player, I should say, at Middlesbrough. Obviously couldn't feature at the weekend when Leeds United did beat Middlesbrough 3-2. He's been a key cog in the resurgence of Carrick's side. And it looks like West Ham are keeping tabs on the Leeds United midfielder, which is interesting. If Borough don't take the opportunity to sign him, which obviously they have an obligation, not an option, an obligation. Sorry, no, it's an option, not an obligation, to sign the midfielder for 1.5 million quid, which will be an absolute steal for Borough. It looks like other clubs can come in and take him away from Leeds United. Now, 1.5 million quid when you've got a lot of interest from other clubs is a little bit annoying, as we all know, but it is what it is. We can't do anything about that. Leeds have set that valuation. Greenwood has probably, if we're being honest, exceeded expectations, and his agent is doing a fantastic job to say he's linked to West Ham, presumably in that midfield slot as well. You just have to look at his tenure with Leeds when he was getting regular game time in the Premier League. It's just not it, really. It's not it for me. And maybe, listen, it's different managers, different times, different ownerships, different times, and maybe he's suited to a different system, a different style. And maybe that's where a team like West Ham would get the best out of Sam Greenwood. But for me, he's not a Premier League player. But maybe this could be the resurgence of him in a more comfortable environment where he's getting more game time at Middlesbrough, and maybe that transition to a West Ham would be much easier. Greenwood should be a Leeds player next season, says Finn. Morning, Daniel. Hope you're all good. Kim's in the building. Hey, mate. Yeah, so I know it's an interesting one. Lamb chops no beef has said, surprising to hear West Ham interested in Greenwood, who probably wouldn't feature much for Leeds United, just below there. But David has also said, surely we have a contractual section that states if we get higher offers, we can accept that instead. I'd imagine the 49ers aren't that stupid. You'd hope so, David. You really would hope so. There has to be something in there, which means, as you've quite rightly said, if Leeds are to get significant offers for this guy, of higher value, then they can retract that offer. There's got to be clauses in there, unless they've just simply gone into this and thought it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. So we'll just give them the option to get this guy. I just don't think, it's not a player who I would like to see feature regularly for Leeds United, but it is someone who I think we could get decent value for and hopefully Leeds in the future. This is exactly what you want with a loan player. You want someone like Greenwood to go out. You want someone like Greenwood to get notoriety. You want someone like Greenwood to get expectation a little bit higher, so then he can come back and we can sell him on. You know, you look at the likes of Llorente, the likes of Christensen, the likes of Aronson, the likes of Rocker, the likes of all these deserters, Jack Harrison, who've left the club. You want them to perform. You know, emotionally, you don't want them to perform. Sentiment-wise, you don't want them to perform. But for that value, you do want them to perform, because when they do that, Leeds are going to get the stock very high on those individuals, and they're going to get a good value back for them. You know, we spent a lot of money on these players, a hell of a lot of money when it comes to these players. You know, Robin Koch, Llorente, Aronson, all of these players, it accrues a massive value. Leeds at some point need to get that value back in these players, at least one or two of them anyway. And you're hoping that someone like Sam Greenwood is going to be able to, Leeds are able to see a profit there, and a significant profit, especially for a young Englishman, you know, where there's tax upon their performances and their transfer value, you know. So Harrison wouldn't get into our squad, no way. Rob Aether says Greenwood is a great striker of a ball. Surely we can find a position for him, a poor man's Trent, other than JR, who's caught Uriah the most for the January window. I don't know who you mean there, mate. Let me know in the comment section below. Would like to see the 49ers become like Levy. We sell our players too cheap in the past. I agree, and that's something that Leeds need to start getting much better at when it comes to recruitment. And we've also got Nick Hammond in. We've got Steinson. You know, that whole recruitment policy has changed somewhat at Leeds United. We have to get better at bringing players in, and if we are to sell them on, getting a profit, gaining a profit. I think too many teams have taken advantage of Leeds United when it comes to selling players. You know, us selling players for many a year now, and we need to get more ruthless there. I agree with that. We need to get more, you know, smart, a little bit more cute when it comes to actually selling players on, because honestly, I can't. It's like you take Rafa and Calvin maybe out of it. There's not been many that Leeds United have sold on for a decent profit with the amount of players that we've brought in over the past 4 to 5 years. Some have been a success and we've not had to let them go, you know, i.e. Luke Ayling, Liam Cooper, etc., etc. But overall, Leeds have not turned a profit for many players, and that simply has to change, because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable whatsoever. Connor Harrison is the only one we make profit from. I don't think you're wrong there, Daniel. You know, it'd be nice if, obviously, it'd be lovely if we made a profit from Mark Rocker. I don't think that'll happen. I think they're going to get him within the 10 to 12 million pound range. Christensen, Roma aren't going to buy him, let's be honest. He should be playing for Oldham Athletic. Never mind Roma. Aronson, we called it last year on the channel. There's no chance he would even survive in the Championship. Never mind where he's playing now in the Bundesliga. He'll never survive in the Premier League. I think when you heard Aronson's comments at the start of the season, it's almost like, my job's not finished at Leeds United. I'm paraphrasing, but that's how it came across. It's like, Brendan, how good do you think you are, mate? You're not good. You're not a good player, fella. You're a good presser. You run around, but you've got no attributes whatsoever. You've got no traits. You're not getting back into this side. You know, imagine him directly up against, as let's say hypothetically an opposition as an opposition player up against Ampadu and Kamara. You'd get absolutely no change out of either one of them. You know what I mean? And they're playing at Championship level. You know, Brendan Aronson's nowhere near good enough, and you have to mention Aronson because the amount we paid for him. You know, he had to be a success at Leeds, or we're gonna have to turn a profit for him. It's simple. Brighton can do it, so can we. Love Rodon, but we can't. Love Rodon, but we can't be held to ransom. Sorry, it's not for some reason. Clicking your comment there, mate. Gavin says love Rodon, but we can't. Who would you want to sign the most? Other than JR, who caught you the most of John Wood? I don't know, mate. I can do a video separately on it. I really can. But yeah, as I've said, I mentioned on a few videos that I'd go for a left back, I'd go for a cam, I'd go for a striker. All the 4 transfers I'd go for is a Patreon exclusive video. So head on over there if you fancy checking that out. Anyway, let's get into the next rumour, shall we? So, Burnley have entered the race for Leeds United target. Now, this has been mentioned several times yesterday. Try Hume, who's been never present for Sunderland this season, having made the right-back position his own, with the Black Cats keen to keep him on board. It's Leeds versus Leicester, according to multiple sources, for the Northern Ireland International. Now, he's only 21 years of age, but it doesn't really make sense for me, this one. Why would Leeds go for another right-back? Are they going to move Archie Gray into central midfield and see him as that position? Are they then are they just going to have Jed Spence by himself? Would they promote Luke Ayling back to the squad, if Archie Gray was to take a position in central midfield and be his main target week in, week out, regaining that central midfield spot off of Glenn Kamara or an Ethan Ampadu? Do Leeds want another right back, to be able to compete with Jed Spence? Obviously, Jed Spence isn't a permanent signing. I get why they would go for a right back, but I just don't think it would be a shrewd move. I don't see the point in doing that, to be honest with you. Why would we go for a right back when you have Jed Spence and Archie Gray with potentially Luke Ayling there, just to fill in every now and again in the cup game? I don't really get that. But if Leeds are to go for a right back, it does signify the end, obviously, for Luke Ayling. And then it maybe signifies the end for Archie Gray at right back. It maybe displays that he will be a central midfielder going on. So listen, it does increase squad depth, it increases squad competition. So I do get that. Try Hume is very, very, very highly rated at Sunderland. There's been many a conversation of apparently lower Premier League team, Sheffield United, Burnley also looking at him. But apparently Leicester and Leeds United have already entered the race. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on that. But a right back, I don't really get that. Morning all. We need a 10 centre and centre back rather than another right back. Hi, Evie. Yeah, definitely. We are coming for you, Leeds United, from a Barnsley fan. Oh, God. Barnsley, bloody hell. I forgot they even existed. Kevin Otto. Hi, mate. How are you doing? I've seen Bogrell stronger than Aronson. Yeah, 100%, mate. All I want for Christmas is a left back. Yeah, and I agree. Listen, I think a left-back and a centre-back's priority. I think a Cam would be nice, but I think we've got a nice fluid option there when it comes to Rutter in there and Perot interchanging. Their relationship is building. The cohesiveness, the synergy is obviously on another level now when it comes to their understanding on a pitch. So that's all positive. Listen, I do still think Leeds need 3 positions in the January window. Do I think we'll get that? No. Do I think we'll get 1 or 2? Yeah. If we were to go for 1 or 2, who would it be for me? Left back, centre back. I think that's pivotal right now, especially with the rumours surrounding Charlie Cresswell about him potentially going to Middlesbrough for £4 million. Now, I've mentioned on the thumbnail, Spurs are eyeing a centre-back. Why is this good news? Well, there's been issues with Romero when it comes to suspension. There has also been issues with their other Dutch centre-back as well, who the name escapes me. Mickey van der Ven, that's the one with his hamstring injury. He was carried off. And Spurs have essentially gone into a couple of games now with fullbacks Emerson Royale and Emerson Royale and Ben Davis as centre-backs, and this is their rotation option. So what does that demonstrate? Well, it demonstrates Spurs haven't got a lot of depth. Why is this relevant to Leeds United? Because we have one of their centre-backs at the club, who is obviously, definitively, our best centre-back at the club. In my opinion, Pascal Strauch, who think is that next level. So if they're in for another centre-back, positive news for Leeds United. Now, Tosin Adarabioyo, who is at Fulham, has been playing at Fulham now for many a year at centre-back. It was a great acquisition when they got him from Man City for £2 million. Excuse me. And Spurs apparently are looking at bringing Tosin Adarabioyo in the January window. He'll be a rotation option. He's not going to have to relocate. It'll be cheap. And it looks like that is going to be the option that Spurs are going to go down. Why is that significant for Leeds United? Well, it means that there's going to be no recall option for Joe Rodon. Now, is there even a recall option for Joe Rodon? It doesn't look like it. But even in the eventuality of Spurs getting another centre-back, what does that mean for Leeds United? Well, it means in the summer months, we're probably not going to be feeling as a club that pressurised in potentially losing Joe Rodon. 1 year left on his deal. Looks like he's happy in Leeds as well. He's speaking glowingly about the club. Even Ampadu's trying to get him to stay on social media. We saw all this palaver with Calvin Phillips and Ben White back in the day. But this definitely feels a lot more realistic. A lot more realistic. So that's a massive beneficiary to Leeds United. Do I think Spurs bring in another centre-back in January? I think it's obvious. Listen, if Joe Rodon was that good and Spurs loved him that much, they wouldn't have let him go out in the first place, because Spurs centre-backs, when it comes to Eric Dyer, when it comes to Ben Davis, when it comes to Emerson Royal, if you're using 2 out of those 3 even as centre-backs, they still felt it was necessary to loan out Joe Rodon. You know, it didn't bother them as much. So I think that's really... It's a real interesting avenue for Leeds, but it's a real positive avenue for Leeds United as well, because I think if we really want to, we could make this permanent in January. We really could. You know, we've got the capital there to do it. It'll be interesting to see what Leeds do, and maybe Spurs are going to be really pushed to do that if they do get someone like a Tosin Adarabioyo in as that, you know, deputy. You know, because a lot of this will be about PR as well. I think Spurs will be a little bit worried if, you know, they're selling Joe Rodon to Leeds United and they've still got issues with Mickey van der Ven. Romero's probably got another suspension. He seems to get 15 per season, and they're still relying on Ben Davis and Emerson Royal. So I think for both parties, Tosin Adarabioyo going there as an example would be beneficial. Yeah, my camera does keep flicking. Apologies for that, Lauren. Morning, Connor. Hopefully that's not a consistent thing. Please let me know. Morning, Connor. Looks like I've just missed the live stream again. We'll have to arrange a tea break. Cresswell is an old school defender. He's great at what he does, but he's not Premier League class. He's mid-table championship quality defender. Fair swap. Willie for Rodon and Spence. Hopefully this isn't keeping you guys on the back burner here. It seems to be okay for now. Let me know, please, if this is continuing. Obviously, that is the camera issue. I don't know why this is happening all of a sudden, but it seems to be okay for now. Please let me know if it's not. I will make just a little bit of an adjustment there, but it should be okay. Please let me know if it's not. Of course, turned off a few devices. Now, the main news today, the main news that I wanted to speak about was the midfielder that Leeds United are linked to. It is David Turnbull of Celtic, formerly of Motherwell. John Hartson, interestingly, has quoted Leeds United. Now, apparently Turnbull is looking to move to the Premier League, as Matt O'Reilly has mentioned previously. Turnbull has apparently stated before that, you know, he wants to play down south, which is great news. You know, the Premier League is obviously the eventual for many prospects of Scottish football. We've seen so many come down. The probably recent one from Celtic is Christie going to Bournemouth. Midfielder-wise, could Leeds United make David Turnbull a January edition? Listen, he's a very, very good number 8, can morph into a number 10 as well. He's got many goals under his belt, even when Rodgers has come in this season, and Postecoglou is one of his brightest prospects, obviously moved from Motherwell to Celtic. It'd be a great addition for Leeds United, and according to multiple sources, he could be picked up for anything less, for anything less than £5 million, which, wow, what a snip that would be. It'd sort out the midfield. It'd make the midfield more energetic, combative, but also it'd bring a bit of guile, innovative and creativeness with it as well, which is obviously what Leeds United need in that role. I believe, when I've watched David Turnbull before for Celtic, I believe he's a little bit more versatile as well, which I think Daniel Farke could definitely work with. So, yeah, fascinating to see that. I wonder if Leeds would go for another midfielder. You know, would we go for another midfielder? Do we need another midfielder in there? We've got Alai. What does that mean for Alai if we did get rid of him? Bloody hell, that would be him really getting knocked down that pecking order. Be fascinating to see. JP Etherington says, I prefer Sarah. Mitchell says, Dyer doesn't even start for them. They would rather play fullbacks. What about Obabamidele from Forest? Do you know what? Nil IFIYFC. I didn't even realise he'd gone there. Obabamidele was obviously one of my targets in the summer months. What a signing that was. And on loan, that might be a decent little addition, to be honest with you. So yeah, be interesting to see that one. Mark says, morning, Connor. Hey, Mark. I mean, it'd be good to get a midfield, but we need defenders. There's no way Ayling and Cooper can do another Premier League season. We need to sign Joe Rodon, get rid of Firpo, and 3 more defenders: left back, a right back, and centre back. Yeah, so okay, that's interesting there, Lauren. So you'd go for another right back. So obviously the rumours a little bit earlier on. Try Hume would be something that you would go down. Obviously, Try Hume wouldn't come into the starting 11 straight away. He's a youngster, 21 years of age. You've obviously got Jed Spence there. I guess the other interesting thing to look at is whether or not Jed Spence is going to be a little bit of a permanent fixture when it comes to the injury table. We're hoping not, but I wonder if maybe behind the scenes Leeds have been a bit cautionary about that. Do they need to go out and get another addition because they're a little bit worried about his defensive record, his injury record, I should say. That's maybe something to consider. Do Leeds need one overall as a right back? I think so. I think so in the long term. As I've just mentioned, Jed Spence is only on loan. Will he sign permanently? Probably not. I don't feel he will. And that's based on absolutely nothing. It's just a gut feeling. Now, a Try Hume could be someone who comes in and be a real fixture in this Leeds United side going forward. So, yeah, the right back position is a little bit contentious, really, because Luke Ayling's never going to feature again, in my opinion, consistently. So you got to put Luke out of the running, really. Jed Spence's injury record, is that something that's concerning Leeds? He's not a permanent player. And then, really, you've just got Archie Gray. So maybe the depth isn't as sufficient as we actually think. Stephen, exactly. He's different to Kamara and Purdue. Baffles me why we got a player who's the exact same. Sergio Gomez from City, maybe 15 mil on the phone. Connie, you've got contacts there. Yeah, Gomez would be a lovely signing for us. I think he's a top addition, mate. I do think he'll be playing top-level football, though I don't think he'd make his way down to Leeds United, unfortunately. If we get promoted, we cannot rely on any of our permanent players. Melier, Ayling, Cooper, Firpo, Strauch. All not Premier League quality. Yeah, interesting. Guys, just give us a little thumbs up on the video as well. Is the camera okay now? Are we good? Looks like we're all good. I think I've shut down something which seems to have aided the camera process. Please let me know in the live comment section there, chat, if it's all good now. A little bit concerning that was, but hopefully it's all good now. Now, something that I wanted to also discuss is Ian Pervader. Now, Ian Pervader has gone on international duty, which is a bit mental at this point in the season. Cheers, Leeds fan. Appreciate that, mate. Very, very odd, timing-wise, and obviously he's left a little bit of a squad place there, when it comes to depth on the bench, because Pervader has been on the bench. Very odd timing, but yeah, he's been called up to the Colombian national side. Great for him. But it does leave a little bit of a space. Now, what happens with that space, for me, is there a chance for you guys, when you look at hunger, when you look at desire, when you look at willingness, when you look at endeavour, this is something Brownie would disagree with. Patrick Bamford, at this moment in time on that bench, would you look at almost putting a Matteo Joseph in there and promoting him ahead of Patrick Bamford when it comes to that substitute? Now, I'm not saying Patrick Bamford isn't quality as a substitute in the Championship on paper. But what I would say is, every time I've seen Matteo Joseph, I know he's young, but we've seen youngsters thrive, haven't we, in the Championship? And I just wonder, because we're so stacked up top, and Archie Gray has obviously had opportunities because there's been holes in the squad. Matteo Joseph hasn't. Now, there was a mass amount of clubs in for Matteo Joseph in the summer months to take him on loan or to buy him on a permanent transfer as well. Would it be worthwhile him getting ahead of Patrick Bamford in terms of the pecking order right now? Now, a lot of people will say, Connor, they don't have enough minutes, mate. They don't have enough minutes to even get on the pitch and do anything. That can be applied to Nonto, Anthony, Bamford, Gruev. But Joseph, for me, right now, the perfect development for him could be in the Championship. We've seen it with Archie Gray. We've seen youngsters improve at this level. There's arguments that could be made at the start of the season. We saw a little bit of improvement from Jamie Shackleton and Charlie Cresswell. Championship. You're going to get opportunities at this level. So does Joseph obviously make the bench because Pervader's gone? Let's have a quick look there, everybody. Is the camera okay there? Just quick issues. Are we okay? Have we gone? Camera's gone. Decent. As you can see, the quality's definitely gone down a level. This is what it's actually. Welcome to the actual stream without the camera. But yeah, we'll get that sorted for you guys. I don't know what on earth's happened there, but there we go. So it's going to be fascinating to see how Leeds United go about that and whether or not Joseph will fit into that starting lineup. And get that slot off Ian Pervader, because I think there's a real opportunity there within the Championship. It's perfect to see his development. Yeah, Jordan, not great, mate, not great. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this one out. I'm not sure what's going on with regards to the camera. So as you guys know, this will be improved. Obviously, apologies for that. Has it gone back again? No, it's not gone back again, so we're just going to have to leave it at this one right now, unfortunately. But guys, we will leave it there. We will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining. Please make sure you head on over to the Patreon. We'll have a Generation Leeds out later on today. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. And yeah, as I say, start this video over again. Look at the camera issues. Let me know in the comment section below. And I'll see you later on, everybody. We'll have some shorts going out through the day. We might have a stream tonight. I've got a few ideas that I want to bring to you, so I'll see you soon.